Sorry for my poor lighting. I have a light ring thing, but I don't know where it is. It is 4 a.m. And I had a phone call that I made yesterday that the result of that phone call is going to be this video. And I was pretty upset yesterday. I shot 4 or 5 takes and it was coming off. I felt too angry. There's something I've noticed going on in almost every church I've been in. Every pastor has either tried to fight the battle or not even try to fight it at all. I'm gonna tell you a story. Rockin' Robin story time. Y'all ready? Get my morning caffeine going. There once was a man who did a service for a place that he wasn't hired for. He didn't get paid for. Really didn't have to answer to any, actual physical boss. And everybody delighted that the man was doing this job, doing this service. And then one day after some years, the man decided, I'm gonna slow down, maybe take it part-time, or I think I'm just gonna retire from doing it altogether. I feel like the Lord's leading me in a different direction, or I want to go in a different direction. Now, while many of his friends and peers were extremely supportive, offered to help out and pray for and whatever they could for this gentleman, there were some, we will call them the Pharisees. Pharisees are the ultimate religious people that do everything in a religious way. And if you upset their norm or want to change the way they're doing things, well, they wanted this man's head, basically. I mean, they gave him some looks. A few people actually said some stuff to him, and so I believe some even sent some text messages that, like, how dare you? I told my buddy, I said, consider yourself blessed. He says, well, I am blessed, but what are you talking about? I said, the Pharisees did the same thing to Jesus. So you're in good company. He said, you know what? I really am. And I support my brother in whatever he decides to do. You Pharisees in the church, I'm going to speak to you now. You're the ones that hang with the same people every single Sunday. You sit in the same exact seat every single Sunday. If you're not sitting, in the center of the church, directly in front of the pulpit, you almost act as if you don't sit there, the pastor won't see you every Sunday and you won't make it to heaven. So let's get this out of the way. Jesus never said, go to church and you'll go to heaven. Jesus said, hey, have the pastor speak to you every single Sunday or you won't go to heaven. Jesus never said any of that. And you Pharisees in the church, you religious routine people, unfairly attacked a man because he simply wanted to step down from a position after some time doing it, because he feels he's being led to do something else. Prior to this, everybody loved this man. Oh, we love you, brother. We support you, brother. Blah, 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 blah. I've been planning on doing a video about the selfish prayer, but I guess here it is. We are all happy and satisfied with God's will for our lives and other people's wills for our lives, as long as they line up with our wills. Lord, let it be your will. What you're not saying is, Lord, let it be your will, as long as it lines up with my own. Yeah, brother, we'll support you. Yeah, Pastor, we'll volunteer for that ministry. As long as you show me recognition and tell the whole congregation every single Sunday that, you know, or when you show recognition for this ministry and you name off names, Pastor, I'll be about that ministry, as long as you mention my name with everybody else's. Pharisees. Sorry, my screen keeps going wavy for some reason. I gotta keep my foot on the throttle and smooth out the engine, but the joys of shooting a video inside the cab of a semi while waiting in a long line to get loaded with your sand at 4 o'clock in the morning. But I digress. Pharisees. You sit in the same spot every Sunday. Matter of fact, you have stuff to mark your spot when you leave today, so nobody else sit in that seat next Sunday. You might as well just kind of take you a sign, put a, this is Sister Betty Lou's better than you seat. If you sit in this seat on Sunday morning and Betty Lou sees you, you're going to hell. I heard a black pastor one time getting on to his congregation. I've dropped you all kinds of hints. I've told you, you know, make a new friend every Sunday. He goes, I've dropped several hints like that, and y'all are still doing the same old, and complaining that we still have the same old church. He said, so next Sunday when I walk into church and after praise and worship is over, and I see all y'all sitting in the same seats you've been sitting in for years, next to the same people you've been sitting next to for years, I'm just going to step up to the pulpit and dismiss the service. I'm not even going to step into the pulpit next Sunday. No, I missed the next television broadcast of that service, but I'd like to think it went well. Chances are probably not. Because even the people that were there the previous Sunday probably just didn't quite get the message. And that's the thing with people. That's human nature. I do it too. We don't hear anything that does not conform to our idea of right. Shall I say that again? We do not hear anything from anybody, even God, if it does not conform into our little box of right. You know how many Pharisees that denied Jesus listened to his words, but they didn't hear him? I wrote this little something down Sunday. Listening to God requires your ears, but hearing from God requires your heart. We do not move most of the time. Ooh, red light special. Until we absolutely hear from God. Well, this man heard from God and was unfairly attacked for it. But rest assured, for every one of y'all that attacked, made a sneer, or looked at this man cross-eyed after his decision, there was at least 3 more people to build him up and support him. You same Pharisees in the church wonder, why isn't our church growing? Why can't we keep people? Sometimes to see the problem, you need to look in the mirror. You need to look in your own heart. And if you do some Bible research, you'll find that Jesus called the Pharisees hypocrites. Boy, the fastest thing to get you whooped by somebody in church, one of the religious folks in church, is call them a hypocrite. If somebody did to your child at school what y'all did to this man at church on Sunday, y'all would be up there at the principal's office demanding blood. Absolutely preposterous. I would like to tell you that all my videos are inspired by what God teaches me. But unfortunately, this video is inspired by anger, shame, disgust. He used to love a guy that came on the radio, even had a couple of CDs. His name was Earl Pitts. He used to say, "Wake up, America. You know what makes me so angry?" And at the end of his spiel, he goes, "Wake up, America." Well, wake up, church house. And I ain't talking about just my church house. I'm talking about every church house out there I've ever been to, and every church house out there. And he says, you have the same people in every church. The ultimate religious. Now, okay, I have to sit 3 seats to the right and on the next row behind the pastor's wife, or the pastor won't see me every Sunday. Everybody else at church won't see me on Sunday. I had to sit on the front row every Sunday because I'm the pastor's special friend. If you're going to church to be recognized by the pastor or the congregation, stay home, because you're going for the wrong reason. I ain't never been one to tell somebody stay home from church. No, don't stay home. You better realize why you're supposed to be in that church. Don't say, well, my parents went to church, my grandparents went to church, they took us to church, so I take my kids and my grandkids to church. It's not the going to church that's the important thing. It's going to learn something from God through fellowship with a leader and your fellow churchgoers. Hypocrites, I mean Pharisees in the church. Y'all need to do better. Y'all need to do a lot better. Normally this would be your friendly neighborhood Rockin' Robin. My tagline doesn't make much sense. But peace out anyways. Like, share, tag, subscribe, follow please. And leave your comments. God bless you.